Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the graduate school at Colorado State University. My name is Mary Stromberger, and I'm the Dean of the Graduate School. I'm so excited to talk with you today, along with other members of our graduate school faculty and staff, who are awesome. Thank you so much for participating in the new graduate student orientation. Hopefully, you found the pre-recorded videos helpful in preparing you for this live event and for the fall semester. Many of you will also have an orientation in your own department that will provide you with specific information about your program. Today's event is designed to introduce you to the resources of the graduate school and across the university. This event is being recorded so it can be shared with students who aren't able to participate with us today, and also for your future reference. So I'll just begin with a brief introduction to CSU. CSU is one of the nation's leading public land-grant research universities. As a land-grant institution, CSU is one of 68 colleges established under the Morrill Act of 1862, which gave federal lands to states to establish colleges for the purpose of making higher education accessible to everyone. This gift, however, came at a cost to the indigenous peoples who lived and steward the land where CSU now resides. Therefore, it's important that before we begin today, we acknowledge the history of this land and those who lived here. Next slide. Colorado State University acknowledges with respect that the land that we are on today is the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute nations and peoples. This was also a site of trade, gathering, and healing for numerous other Native tribes. We recognize the indigenous peoples as original stewards of this land and all the relatives within it. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties that nations have to their traditional homelands are renewed and reaffirmed. CSU was founded as a land-grant institution, and we accept that our mission must encompass access to education and inclusion. And significantly, that our founding came at a dire cost to Native nations and peoples whose land this university was built upon. This acknowledgement is the education and inclusion we must practice in recognizing our institutional history, responsibility, and commitment. Next slide. Today, more than 6,500 resident and distance graduate students are part of the CSU RAM family. Thank you for choosing Colorado State University and being part of our family. We welcome students from 90 different countries who are enrolled in more than 100 doctorate, master's, and professional degree programs. This breadth of diversity again reflects our land-grant mission of CSU, which is to provide access to educational opportunities regardless of one's identity or circumstances. As a proud first-generation graduate, I am deeply committed to sharing the CSU's and the graduate school's culture of inclusivity with you and others. Next slide. This culture of inclusion and belonging has been codified in what we call our principles of community. Our principles stand for our values and commitment to access, inclusion, and belonging. We follow these principles in all that we do, from our hiring practices to our work and our teaching, and to our expectations of our students, our guests, and our community. Inclusion, integrity, respect, service, and social justice. These are the values that CSU stands for and the values that we pass down to our students. Next slide. The graduate school provides the leadership for graduate education at CSU. Our mission is to ensure the highest academic program standards while enhancing your personal and professional development through innovative programs. During today's live orientation event, I'll share a few important features of the graduate school website, important COVID-19 information, and resources related to mentoring, professional development, graduate school events, and more. Next slide. So the best source of information and resources is the graduate school website. Here you'll find information that you'll need as a graduate student to progress through your program, explore opportunities for professional development, find our mentoring resources, and check out the various events that we'll have throughout the year. Here you can also access the Contact Us feature that's on the lower right corner of the website. This is a chat feature, which is a great way to connect with us virtually. Next slide. So information and resources related to COVID-19 can be found on the CSU COVID Information and Resources page. Most importantly, this website shares the health precautions that we must take at CSU to protect ourselves, our children, those who are immunocompromised or exempted from being vaccinated due to medical or religious purposes. These precautions include mandatory submission of COVID vaccine information or a declaration of exemption for all CSU students and employees. And if not fully vaccinated, employees and students must register for twice weekly saliva screenings. Masks are also required in all indoor spaces unless you are alone in a private office. Information specific to graduate students is centralized on the Graduate School COVID page. Here you'll find updated information about COVID impacts on our policies, in our teaching, research, and more. Next slide. CSU's COVID Information Resources page also has a page dedicated to support services for students. So on this page, you'll find information about vaccination clinics, COVID screenings, and resources to support you physically and emotionally while at CSU. Please know that I and the graduate school place a high priority on your health. We understand that your success as a graduate student is dependent on you being healthy, not only physically, but emotionally and mentally as well. I encourage you to integrate health and well-being into your graduate school education and training, and not just see it as something that's separate or that you just put aside for later. Don't forget that you are not just a student who learns or teaches in the classroom, creates in a studio, or conducts research. You are a human being first, and your health is most important. Next slide. And I recognize that you are beginning your graduate journey in a time that's very unusual. We're in a period that's marked by the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as civil and political unrest. And these conditions are going to bring added stress. And so it's really important that you seek out a network of mentors that can support you and guide you in many ways. So in your academic journey, your research and scholarly training, your professional and career development, but also in encouraging you to take care of yourself and focus on your health and well-being. Your graduate advisor probably will not be able to support you in all of the ways you need supporting. You need multiple mentors, so seek them out within your department, across the campus, outside of the campus in your community, and within your career field. And a really good place to find mentors is through the Graduate Center for Inclusive Mentoring, or GCIM. So GCIM provides formal mentor training to faculty and advocates to campus for a culture of graduate mentoring excellence and connects students with mentors, particularly mentors who are culturally competent and mentor through a lens of equity and inclusion. We'll host several GCIM events throughout the semester, including our Mentor Mondays, during which you can meet with faculty to network and discuss topics related to mentoring. Associate Dean Colleen Webb will share more with you about GCIM in just a few minutes. Next slide. The faculty task force mentoring white paper that was listed on the previous slide is a good resource to learn about mentoring through a faculty mentor lens. But to learn about mentoring from a graduate student mentee lens, I really encourage you to read the Graduate Student Task Force Mentoring White Paper. As a mentee, you have the right to receive excellent mentorship from your mentors that will help you develop the skills you need to be successful as a student and in preparing you for your future career. As a mentee, you also have expectations to meet that will help your mentors be helpful to you. So these expectations include being proactive in seeking out mentors, working with mentors in a positive and collaborative way, and communicating frequently with your mentors. And remember that mentoring is a two-way interaction. This means that you must take responsibility to learn what you need to do to get through your graduate degree program, including learning your department expectations, your department's rules and policies, and then timelines for hitting certain degree progression milestones. One tool that will help you as a mentee communicate your timelines, your tasks to complete, and your goals is the individual development plan. And this Associate Dean Colleen Webb will talk to you about the individual development plan in just a few minutes. And finally, I encourage you as a mentee to take initiative in pursuing opportunities to grow outside of the classroom and the laboratory. By participating in professional development opportunities to develop foundational skills for career development, emotional intelligence, cultural competency, and work-life balance. Next slide. So you can learn about our professional development opportunities on the Graduate School Professional Development webpage. There are other opportunities throughout the university, including the research ethics training through the Research Integrity and Compliance Review Office. Also, the Institute for Learning and Teaching, or TILT, provides training to faculty and graduate students related to teaching practices. So if you're interested in an academic career, TILT is a great resource that can teach you best practices. Here you can participate in a teaching certificate program, learn how to teach inclusively through the new Inclusive Pedagogy Training Program, and then the other opportunities within TILT. So I really encourage you to look to TILT if you're interested in an academic career. Next slide. The graduate school professional development opportunities that we are structured in a way that will expand your competencies in 6 areas, and they're organized in a roadmap to encourage you to start building your competencies in your first year, second year, and beyond as a graduate student. And so Assistant Dean Christina Quinn will be here in a few minutes to talk with you about these professional development opportunities. But I really want to highlight as a reminder that you can find events in the calendar that's displayed on the graduate school homepage. So the best way to get event updates and reminders is to subscribe to our calendar. So to do that, all you need to do is visit the events section of the graduate school homepage and then click on events to subscribe. Next slide. So one major event that's organized by the graduate school every fall is the Graduate Student Showcase. So during this showcase, hundreds of graduate students gather and they share with CSU their research and scholarly discoveries, their entrepreneurship and creativity in arts and music and more. It's just a really exciting way and an opportunity for graduate students to practice their presentation skills, network with each other, and compete for scholarship awards. So I really hope you'll attend this year's showcase. It's going to be held the week of November 8th, and it will feature both virtual and in-person events. And again, it's just a great way to learn about what other students are doing and to share your own work as well. Next slide. So these are only a few of the resources available to you. Please visit the graduate school website for more resources that will help you as a current student to get started on your degree program, make progress, write your thesis or dissertation, and graduate. Under current students, you'll also find financial resources and policies and benefits for graduate students supported on an assistantship. We also have lots of resources to support your health and well-being, including mental well-being. And then you can also find the graduate school's policies and procedures. And I really encourage you to read through the graduate and professional bulletin so that you understand what these policies are and what you'll need to follow in order to complete your degree. And also, finally, I want to encourage all of you to find community across the university and seek opportunities to meet students outside of your department. There are lots of graduate student organizations that can connect you with students from across campus. So one great organization is the Graduate Student Council, which is comprised of representatives from nearly every department across the university. And it's through the Graduate Student Council that graduate students have a voice and can advocate and work with CSU administration to improve graduate student experiences. The council is also a great opportunity to develop leadership skills and work with other students and be an agent of change. Next slide. So to wrap up, I've got 3 really important resource reminders. Duo two-factor authentication, RamWeb, and your colostate.edu email. Next slide. Okay, so the first is Duo two-factor authentication. So Duo is a tool that provides two-factor authentication that will protect your account by requiring an additional piece of information beyond your username and password. So when you access certain CSU services, including the Microsoft 365 applications and university email accounts, you'll be required to use a device such as your cell phone or a hardware token that will provide an additional layer of security to your account. So this is done by receiving a push authentication request through the Duo app on your phone or entering a passcode that you receive from your token. So to start, it's really simple. Just visit the CSU Duo webpage and register your device to receive these push authentications. Next slide. So second is RamWeb, your personal student information site. So among other things, here's where you're going to access your course schedule, your graduate degree plan, your unofficial transcript. Here's where you'll receive alerts from the graduate school and monitor any holds using RamWeb. Next slide. And lastly, and I cannot stress this enough, please check your Office 365 email often. Your @colostate.edu email address is your official email address, and this is how the graduate school will communicate with you. So you can have your colostate.edu email forwarded to your personal account if you don't want to manage 2 email apps. But please check this email often. There's lots of good reasons to be using Office 365, and it does provide you with benefits. You'll get free full versions of Microsoft Office, including Teams. So with that, I'd like to thank all of you for listening and for choosing CSU and becoming part of our GradRam family. I hope that you have a wonderful, productive semester and that you take full advantage of all the opportunities available to you. It's my pleasure now to introduce our next presenters, Lindsay Winkenbach and Julie Scamardo. Lindsay is a fourth-year PhD candidate in the Biochemistry and Molecular Biology program, and Julie is a second-year PhD student in Geosciences. Lindsay and Julie are the co-presidents of the Graduate Student Council, and they're here to welcome you and share a few highlights of how the Graduate Student Council represents your voice to the university. Lindsay and Julie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Mary, for the introduction and inviting us to join you all today. So my name is Lindsay and this is Julie, and as Mary said, we are the co-presidents for the Graduate Student Council. And Graduate Student Council is both an advocacy platform and community for graduate students. We are a group created by and composed of graduate students from across the university, and we work together to improve the graduate experience for current and future graduate students at CSU. We envision a diverse, enriching research and academic environment with mentors who foremost support the needs and future directions of students, and administration which prioritizes the physical, mental, and social well-being of the graduate student body.
We have a really close relationship with the graduate school, and through this we are able to be the conduit between graduate students and the administration to amplify our voices and collaborate with the university. We host wellness seminars and social events. We tackle specific advocacy areas brought to our attention by graduate students across the university. We also run small grant programs for funding professional conferences and other professional development opportunities, as well as any supplies that you need to make your research and your work efficient. If you would like to learn more about Graduate Student Council, we encourage you to join us at our breakout room at 9:50 this morning, our welcome picnic at 5 p.m. at City Park tonight with free pizza and ice cream, or to join us for our first meeting on September 7th. Now we'd like to introduce Colleen Webb, the Associate Dean of the Graduate School.
Thank you, Lindsay and Julie, for that introduction. Hello, welcome to New Graduate Student Orientation. As Lindsay and Julie said, my name is Colleen Webb, and I am the Associate Dean at the Graduate School. I have been at CSU for 18 years as a faculty member in biology with a joint appointment in mathematics. I really like graduate education and have looked for opportunities to work more broadly with graduate students. I have an active research group and teach graduate seminars in addition to my responsibilities as Associate Dean. This helps me stay in touch with the day-to-day challenges of graduate school for our students. I've just finished my second year as the Associate Dean for the Graduate School. At the Graduate School, I work with individual students who face challenges in their graduate program for various reasons, along with broader responsibilities in mentoring, in graduate student mental health, and in diversity, equity, inclusion, and social justice. I'll begin by talking about mentoring. As a strong mentoring relationship, a mentor-mentee relationship that is core to your success as a graduate student. The Graduate Center for Inclusive Mentoring, or GCIM, sits within the graduate school. Its membership draws from CSU faculty, and its objective is to equip mentors with the expertise and resources needed to help mentees meet their goals and expectations. GCIM offers the Mentor Well program to train faculty in mentoring best practices for graduate students, and we hope your faculty mentor will attend a training session in the near future. GCIM also sponsors Mentor Mondays, which is an opportunity for faculty, postdocs, and graduate students to come together and discuss topics in mentoring that are relevant for them as mentors or as mentees. Mentor Mondays are generally the first Monday of every month during the academic year. We will hold our first Mentor Monday virtually on September 13th, and we will focus on engaging with mentors. You can find details in the Graduate School events calendar. A challenge around your development as a graduate student and preparing for your career following graduate school is understanding weaknesses that you need to target and strengths that you need to develop. How to build your skills in a timely way while balancing coursework, research, and your own work-life balance and personal wellness. We encourage you to take advantage of another GCIM project, the RAM Individual Development Plan, as a way of managing your graduate education process. Information on the RAM Individual Development Plan is available on our website. It includes a self-assessment to identify weaknesses and strengths to support goal planning. It helps you develop a plan and provides guidance and steps to seek feedback on your plan from your advisor or mentor. We hope you will take advantage of the RAM Individual Development Plan and revisit it annually to help keep you on track. Unfortunately, graduate school is very stressful for many students for a variety of reasons. Recent research suggests that around 65% of graduate students experience low well-being. About 35% suffer from moderate to high levels of anxiety and depression. And following COVID-19, about 30% have symptoms consistent with post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. Students who are women, who are minoritized, who act as parents and caregivers, or who study in the humanities are even more strongly impacted. While you may be thinking, not me, the reality is that you or a close friend or colleague are likely to be impacted while you are in graduate school. A sense of belongingness is very important to good mental health, so we encourage you to find your community and get involved, whether that is in your program, student group, or elsewhere. We also encourage you to focus on personal wellness. Our website lists resources for graduate students around key components of wellness, such as community building, sleep, nutrition, exercise, finances, and mindfulness. I would also encourage you to check out the Graduate Student Council's Wellness Wednesdays that focus on a different aspect of wellness each week. Please be proactive about your mental health. If you're concerned about your own mental health or that of someone you know, please know that we have great resources here on campus and in the community. Full information is on the graduate school website. Please take care of yourselves. Lastly, I want to take some time to speak specifically about diversity, equity, inclusion, and social justice, or DEIJ, as it impacts graduate students. We provide resources to develop DEIJ competency for all students. Please see our website or attend a professional development seminar or check your RAM web for a new module to learn more about DEIJ education. For our diverse graduate students, we seek opportunities to enhance engagement, belonging, and a sense of community. Resources for diverse students include the cultural centers on campus, and these provide opportunities for community volunteering and mentoring undergraduates. We also have resources that are fully graduate student oriented. These groups provide community and spaces for graduate students with diverse identities, such as the Grad QTs, an LGBTQ community, the Graduate Students of Color group, the International Student group, and the Graduate Student Council Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Justice Subcommittee. The Graduate Center for Inclusive Mentoring, or GCIM, also plays an important role in DEIJ, as mentors serve in typical advisor roles, as well as advocating, motivating, and supporting students with diverse identities. Each semester, GCIM sponsors a mentor-mentee meetup for students to expand their mentor network, as well as a speaker focused on DEIJ and graduate school. Part of my role as Associate Dean is to be your representative and your advocate. So please let me know your concerns and comments. In closing, I want you to know that you are welcome here at CSU. Each of you belong here, and we hope your experience will be a good one. Our goal is to assist students so that they can successfully complete their degrees. And I hope if you find yourself facing challenges along the way, that you will know we are here to help. Thanks so much for your time and attention. And now I would like to introduce my colleague, Dr. Christina Quinn, Assistant Dean in the Graduate School and the Director of CSU Rights.
Thank you, Colleen. Welcome, incoming graduate students. I'm delighted to be here as part of the graduate school to welcome you to your graduate studies and to a whole new world of professional development and writing experiences. Let me reiterate that the Graduate School highly values your belonging to CSU, our community, and we support your professional development while here. As Associate Dean Webb noted, I'm an Assistant Dean who organizes professional development opportunities for you, and I'm the founding director of a research writing program. I wish to share information with you today about a couple programs that can make a big difference in your professional growth. The Competencies Roadmap, which you've already seen an image of with Dean Strongberger, and the Professional Development Workshop Series, as well as CSU Writes. When you have a moment, I encourage you to go to the Graduate School's webpage dedicated to the Competencies Roadmap. There you can access information and resources that will support your success and growth during your studies. The competencies focus on core areas of professional development: work management, diversity and inclusion, communication, teamwork, and leadership. These are big concepts that pull together specific and targeted programming that you can select from as needed at different stages of your graduate career. This upcoming fall semester's graduate professional development series of workshops, for instance, includes trainings on topics related to personal and professional well-being. There's a workshop on how to set up your own individual development plan, so your IDP. And there's a session on project and budget management. Next spring semester, the workshops will focus on navigating your career path and job search. With more than a dozen workshops each semester, you'll be able to select options throughout your graduate career at CSU. Now let me shift gears slightly to talk with you about CSU Writes, which is a program that supports faculty, postdoc, and graduate student writers who are either already experts or who are becoming experts like you in a field of study. Writing is an essential cornerstone skill that all of us need for our studies and for building successful careers. CSU Writes brings you workshops, retreats, show up and write sessions, thesis and dissertation accountability groups, consultations, guest speakers, and more. And like the Grad Professional Development Program, CSU Writes offers trainings and information sessions designed to support the work you wish to accomplish in your career. As you begin your studies, you may find workshops on how to draft, how to edit, or how to create a writing habit, and how to deal with inner critics the most helpful. As part of my welcome for you today, I encourage you before you start your courses to take a moment and to reflect on your prior experiences with writing, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then I ask you not to limit yourself to that pre-graduate school understanding of who you are as a writer, a researcher, a student, or a scholar. Because graduate school is a wonderful new beginning, full of enriching professional and personal experiences. Writing in particular is one of those fundamental sites of productivity where the professional and the personal tend to collide. We confront our limitations, we consider new modes of writing, we imagine the stories of our research into being, we develop new voices of expression, and so much more. Ultimately, feel confident that your writing and research skills have served you very well. I know that because you are here. You have arrived. But again, this is just the beginning of a new phase of growth for you as a student, a researcher, and a writer. CSU Writes in the Graduate School has a place for you, and we have offerings to support you no matter your field of study, your educational background, or your intersecting identities. And finally, I'm here as the part of the graduate school orientation to reassure you that you do not have to know it all right now. Writing well is a career-long, and I think it's actually a lifelong pursuit of incremental improvements, and graduate school is the perfect place for you to explore new ideas, develop new skills, and advance new methods. I'm also glad that you selected CSU to start your next career phase. I'll be available in one of the breakout sessions, so if you'd like to know more about CSU Writes or Grad Professional Development Series, please take a moment and pop in for a chat. Love to talk with you. And now let me introduce you to Allison Duell. Allison is our administrative manager who will share some behind the scenes operations and support that you can access at the graduate school.
Thank you, Christina. Good morning, everyone. My name is Allison DeWale, and I am the Administrative Manager at the Graduate School. And I just wanted to share with you a few things about our team. We are available to help you with questions and concerns along your academic journey. We want you to know that we're always here for you. And one of the functions of the Graduate School is final approval of all of these forms that you have to initiate and submit while working on your degree. And those forms that you need to submit are all electronic, and they are available on RamWeb. And Dr. Stromberger talked about RamWeb earlier. The takeaway from this is that the form process starts with you, the student. Once you electronically sign the form, it is then sent to the next person in the workflow, and that person is typically either your graduate department coordinator or your advisor. If you don't know who your department coordinator is, you can visit the grad school website. You navigate to the programs page, select your program, and then the contact information will be displayed. Each of our graduate school forms has a specific deadline depending on the stage of your degree progression. So the deadlines for each semester are listed on the grad school website, and you will receive email reminders from the grad school. And another great way to get reminders for deadlines and events is to subscribe to the grad school calendar. That's graduateschool.colostate.edu/events. I think it's going to be posted in the chat. And if you visit our website and navigate to the bottom of the page, the bottom right corner, you'll see events. And once you are viewing the events calendar, you can subscribe to a variety of ways to receive reminders via text or email. And speaking of email, please remember that all official university communication is sent to your colostate.edu email address. So please ensure that you check that on a regular basis. Our CSU office and services are available virtually and in person. We are open and available to assist you in 108 student services from 9 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. Monday through Friday. You're also welcome to call us at 970-491-6817. You can email us at gradschool@colostate.edu, or there's a live chat feature on our website. So, are you noticing a theme here? Please visit our website. We post a bunch of stuff there, and we try to have helpful information and FAQs, and we try to keep it interesting. So please visit that. We have a great web team, and our site is updated frequently. You can also follow us, the Graduate School, on social media. And if you still need assistance after visiting our website, please reach out. We are dedicated to your student success. We're here to support you along every step of your degree progression, and we don't want you to hesitate to contact us with any question or comment. We love talking to the grad students. So I'm going to turn it back to Dean Stromberger. I want you to also, though, go check out a video clip afterwards. Here's my proud to be a CSU Ram. And if you go, there's a video clip that will hopefully get you in the spirit, since we can't all be together live and in person. So on behalf of the Graduate School, welcome to Colorado State University.
Thank you, Allison, and hello again, everyone. So we're going to transition into our smaller group sessions with our campus resource experts. We've got several sessions beginning at 9:50, 10:20, and 10:50. So you can join any session by clicking the access links posted in the Teams chat feature. And during each session, you'll get to meet resource experts who will introduce themselves, and you'll be able to ask questions using either the chat function or just unmuting yourself. Feel free to drop in and out of sessions during their allotted times. And finally, for those of you who registered, this is a friendly reminder to join the virtual diversity and inclusion panel at 11:30. And this will provide you with an opportunity to network with other graduate students who have underrepresented identities. So thanks all of you for joining us today. Welcome to CSU. I hope you have an amazing first semester here. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and reach out to the Graduate School anytime you have a question. So we are here to help. Have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you at an upcoming event soon, including our first Mentor Monday on September 13th. Bye.